Hey, BOL community. My name is Victoria Anderson, and I'm a digital creative at Believe Out Loud. I'm excited to introduce you to my colleague, Liana, an administrative and program associate here at Believe Out Loud and Intersections International. And our interview guest, Julie Wood. Julie lost her son, Ben, to suicide in 2013, and as a result, dedicated her life to making LGBT folks feel affirmed, loved, and heard by all, especially in places of worship. Today, she will speak to us about her journey of healing, reconciliation, and how the experience of losing her son informs her advocacy work. Thank you all for joining us, and welcome, Julie.
Thank you, Victoria. Welcome, Julie. We're so happy to have you here with us. We can get right to it. So in your book, Changing the Message, you speak a lot about transforming feelings of anger and frustration into love and reconciliation. And of course, for me, this is really hard to do. We wanted to ask, why do you think it's so important to counter negative and hateful words and action with words of compassion and kindness and actions of love?
People show up on the scene with their histories and their conditioning and the things that they've been told their whole life. And so oftentimes they're wounded too. I know my son would sometimes say, how does someone feel so passionate about something that may not affect them? Well, maybe it does. Maybe they have been impacted. Maybe they have experienced a conflictual feeling, but yet it was somehow enforced in them. They had to have a particular belief system. But what I try to do now is care for myself. If I see someone is not open to a conversation or a loving conversation, I really feel it's best to state my feelings, that acknowledge that we disagree, and then respectfully leave the conversation and possibly the area, because it can be triggering. It can be whenever there's been a history of harm based on some of those, that language. Sometimes it's best to just protect ourselves and remove ourselves from the situation. And so that's what I've learned. Whenever, you get back to a place where you're alone or with support, write down all your feelings, as ugly as they are. Get all that dumped out, maybe on paper, or say it to somebody, or scream in a pillow. It needs to be let out. And then we can start working through the feelings of mercy, because we're all on this planet trying to figure it out. Some with a more difficult time than others.
Absolutely. What a beautiful response, Julie. And you also speak a lot of the need for church and society to heal in order to find justice and love. What exactly do you mean by this?
There's such contradictory messages that it leaves a broken system. On one hand, there's a teaching of love and compassion and mercy, and then there's some who see the rejection, judgment. So there's this conflict that often leaves a church body paralyzed, and they just don't know what to do. That is a result of this brokenness that needs healing. There's confusion, and I guess it's called cognitive dissonance, but inside of us, where we struggle between possibly something we were taught and something our heart feels. But until we face the wounds that have been created, the confusion that has been created, I think it can be difficult to make global changes. But we do need to acknowledge the pain, the people who have been wounded, the lives that have been lost, the sacrifices made, so that then we can move forward, heal, and do good work.
What have you seen change in the church and in other religions that gives you hope?
I have seen numbers rising of people who just see the beauty in the other. I think that those numbers are rising, and the ones who are fearful of those who are different than them, I'm hoping is getting smaller. At least we're planting seeds that are creating doubt in those belief systems, that are opening people to more conversation, and allowing possibly family members to be able to claim who they are and speak speak their truth without the resistance that's possibly been there in the past. We have a long way to go, but I believe the numbers are shifting, and there are churches of hope that it's part of who they are and what they publicize is we're a place that is opening and affirming, and we welcome everyone, and they are there in multiple denominations. There are safe places. I love that the church that I currently attend looks like people. There's all races and uh, combinations of family units and adoption, possibly interracial, international families that are just their family. Nothing's cookie cutter, and everyone is there being a part of this body and being celebrated for who they are, that they're seen. And I believe that there are other places just like this. I feel so fortunate that I landed in this place, which is like a nest, like this nest of beauty, because it's what the kingdom of God is supposed to look like. Something about Green Street that impressed me some years ago before I started going there, I heard about, and I was like, it was before I lost my son too, but they had taken a stand to do no marriages in that sanctuary until all people could get married. And that was more than 10 years ago. So they were really pioneers in speaking out to say, this is what's right. This is of God. This is loving and fair and just.
It's amazing. I'm so glad you were able to find a community like that. And I'm sure they're just as glad to have found you. So thank you. Julie, what do you want to tell parents of children who have struggled to fit in at school or at home or in religious communities? What do you want those parents to know?
Love your babies. You have this miraculous being who is put in your care, and allow them to their authentic self to unfold with your support and celebration, and sometimes your voice, your advocacy and problem solving. Be there for them, help build those protective factors to where they know who to go to if they're overwhelmed or they're hurt, they're sad, and they need support. Make it safe to talk about sexuality or whatever their issue may be. But for those who may feel some sort of religious conflict, remember that God is a God of diversity, who many of us believe wove our children together in our womb. We have this amazing gift, and never, ever, ever take that for granted.
Julie, what do you want to tell those children?
The discovery of your authentic self is a sacred journey, and it's for life. Don't ever stop finding who you are and claim who you are. Be proud of who you are, and don't let anyone take that away. Even if you hear other people with some different beliefs or saying some things, look yourself in the mirror and know that you're a beautiful creation of God. Celebrate that and know that no one else on this planet can bring the same gifts that you bring.
Thank you so much, Julie. It was such an honor to meet you and to work with you. And we're just so happy that we were able to help share your story.